r/ask Reddit. What is one socially unacceptable fact about yourself? I pick my nose relentlessly. There's two types of people. People who pick their nose and liars. Are these the same group of liars that say they don't pee in the shower? I can never tell if I am a lazy person or depressed. This comment is heavy for me, because I'm currently crawling away from years of crippling depression and I didn't even realize I was depressed. I can only give examples from myself but not sure if it would apply to you. I recommend giving yourself some time to read on your issues, or watch, listen or talk, and spend some quality time with yourself, like yoga, jogging or taking a hike solo during a nice day, or whatever your poison is. First of all, if thoughts and motivations fly by in your mind at the speed of light and you can't hold on to any single one of them, it becomes really hard to discover anything about yourself, and we call this a mental disorder of the sorts. ADHD. Depression fuels this by a whole lot, and not being able to focus makes you miss every single enjoyable step of every single thing in life. Brushing your teeth, driving, working, studying, walking your dog, instead of finding ways to get things done. Be gentle to yourself about your shortcomings and enjoy anything. You just want everything to be over with, so you can return to your escape. Second thing I realized was that I had dreams and aspirations, but never took a solid step to achieve them. They were just there, not providing any sort of drive or motivation. I would just go through life and make excuses constantly to remain in my comfort zone, because I was burnt out and couldn't summon the energy to undertake a single challenge. Another clue was my past. I escaped it wherever I can. Never wanted to do anything with it. Never developed any perspective and was stuck with the same thoughts, any beliefs up until I started living outside of it. There are other things I went through, but this is enough Reddit reading, I suppose. Just remember, in both cases, you can discipline yourself to create a pretty cushy life where you learn to deal with sources of stress, anxiety or apathy. It's hard to summon that energy to get anything done, but slow does it. Edit. Grammar. I feel like the person in my head and the person that is my body are two completely different people. The outlook I have on life, the things I want to do and the way I would like to live does not match at all with my everyday lifestyle. It's like two completely opposite guys. It reminds me of my favorite song, which has a verse that goes overthinking, overanalyzing, separates the body from the mind. I talk to myself as if people were listening even when I'm alone. I have full-on conversations when I'm alone in the car. I find that it's a good way to get my thoughts in order. I have conversations that I'll never have in person. I'll imagine that I'm arguing with somebody or that I'm on late night with Conan O'Brien talking about my new movie. I'm not an actor. I just love Conan. Sometimes I just pretend that I'm explaining a hobby or something to a friend. Thank goodness cars have Bluetooth capabilities these days. Sometimes at stoplights I'll take breaks in between sentences so that the people in other cars think I'm talking on the phone. I do this too, and reading this really makes me feel so much better cause I thought I was insane. I definitely do not know at what point expressing my desire to talk to someone crosses from reaching out in a friendly way into annoying and impinning, and I worry about it. Edit. It is weirdly reassuring to see how many others feel similarly. I constantly feel like I'm annoying everyone that I talk to, even my training supervisor, who has to remind me many times a day that I'm allowed and encouraged to ask questions in order to do my job better. Still feel like I'm always interrupting and pissing her off. Yes, especially with people who are my acquaintances but I'd like to be better friends with. It's been hard for me since I just entered university as an international student. I had been with such a tight group of close friends for years that I think I've forgotten how to actually make friends and grow closer to them. And I always feel like if I reach out then I'm just bothering them. Somewhat relatedly, I'm always afraid to hit on or flirt with girls, regardless of the context, because I'm afraid that I'll make them feel uncomfortable. I've realized that it's just plummeting my chances of ever having a relationship from now on, and I'm not really sure how to manage it. I just keep thinking they'd be better off if I didn't talk to them, and then I don't and regret that I didn't. When I worked in a human transplant tissue lab, I would talk to the deceased donors to make myself feel better about processing a person who died suddenly hours before. Like, hey Mrs. Bird, How are we feeling today? When she is obviously lying in pieces in a cooler about to be swabbed, irradiated, and transplanted in another human. This is honestly kinda wholesome. Still humanizes the humans who once lived, gives the deceased a lot of respect. I know what you mean. It always made me sad when someone died of some sudden accident because I just know they didn't wake and say today I'm gonna fall down the stairs and die. So it was sort of cathartic to talk to them like they were having a normal day. Sometimes I would say goodbye before I put them in the cooler for the day. I feel like I'm constantly analyzing how to interact with people. Every conversation I have feels like a performance and not the real me, like him just mimicking other conversations I've read or heard. I feel this way as well. The worst part for me is the post-mortem of dissecting a conversation after it happened, and detailing exactly what I said, and could have said better / in a more meaningful way. Exactly this. I am also like, did I talk too much? I shouldn't have said that. Did I do something wrong? I have no real desire to do anything extraordinary with my life. I just want to have my own little corner in the world, and not be bothered by anyone, or bother anyone. Add on. Wow, this blew up. Thanks guys. Same thing. I was pushed a lot from a young age and just now started realizing that maybe all that joyless living was not worth it just to get better grades or be better than everyone. Should have saved some ambition for when I'm grown up, but it's too late. Same. I just want to live a quiet little, hopefully, happy life. I like to work but don't want a whole career. I've never really had the desire to move too far from where I grew up. I don't want even the tiniest amount of fame. And I'm content not being remembered after I die. Just going to keep chugging along until I'm done. Edit. Wow. Woke up this morning to all the comments and rewards. Thank you lovely internet strangers for making me feel a little less weird for a day. Y'all are wonderful. You made a Stardew Valley wiki for your friends. Handy and resourceful. Hopefully it includes a schedule as well. Mike. 9 AM. Saturday. Goes to the local pond and stands there until 4 PM. I don't know what the duck I'm doing most of the time. Respectfully. Experience has taught me this is the default state of anyone doing anything. Young me. Can't wait until I become an adult. Then I'll know exactly what I want to do. Adult me. Oh number. I have no ambition to do anything. No dream job or passions either. I'm not depressed by any stretch, but I just would be happy and fine if all I did was lay around all day and live off saved money. However, most people are utterly disgusted by that, so I'll lie and pretend I have a dream job or that I'm passionate about certain things. I honestly only really do any of those things for money or to pass the time. I don't care about any of them. That's part of why I have so much trouble connecting with people. I so want a girlfriend, but nobody wants a boring dude who doesn't have passions and simply exists. I hate that about myself, but I can't change it. It makes me sad. Being very introverted and avoidant of people doesn't help either. Don't give up. I'm girl. And I feel this same way too. My manager has recently brought up my career path and talked about where I want to go, and I have no freaking idea. Like, I'm fine where I am. Give me raises to keep my pay up with inflation and I may just never leave. No promotions necessary. I'm ambitionless. I just want to make enough money to survive comfortably and then play video games all evening. I'd be perfectly happy with a man who felt the same. At the same time, I am also an introvert who has no interest in a relationship or marriage. I'm not opposed to the idea, but I don't particularly care. I'm never going to seek it out. I think that might be the main problem, finding people like us. We kind of stay home not doing much, so we are hard to find. We do exist though. Edit. I guess I may not fit this perfectly. I'm always doing something. I suppose I have passions. Video games and rewatching TV shows for the 76th time, but none of those passions are ambitious in the least. I have never been in an emotionally deep and mutually trusting relationship. I want to be, but I've never met someone who felt the same way. I'm very introverted and one poor relationship experience left me reeling for the better part of a decade. Same. But instead of the poor experience, I got a mini list that makes up my entire experience. Asked out as a joke. Asked out to make someone jealous. Asked out by someone who it turned out is gay and was hiding it from his family. Oh, and he went after my brother. I got awkward hugs. Brother got a foot job in class. The only reason I still have hope is that I am still young, so I got time. Foot job in class. When I'm out in public I sometimes put my earbuds in just to listen to what other people are saying around me. Nothing playing on my end. Edit. Didn't really expect this one to get noticed, and thank you for the award. I have these Bluetooth headphones with a play pause button on them, so sometimes I pause the song to listen to a conversation that's going on. Not paranoid that it's about me, but I guess I'm just really nosy. My Galaxy earbuds have ambient pass-through audio, so if I pause them I can actually hear stuff better around me. I thought this was amazing until I realized that my hearing is damaged and I just discovered hearing aids. Now I'm curious. Do tell. He was the pastor. I never just have a few beers if I have one. My favorite beer is the next one. One is too many and 100 is not enough. I can go 4 weeks without talking to anyone. I have no need to talk. I'd make a great vow of silence monk. I'm like this. There's only a handful of people in my life I actually enjoy talking to. I'm a very quiet person by myself. I have fake conversations with people I know in my head that result in me argumenting loudly to no one. Same. Sometimes I'll redo past conversations I've had so I win them. This is incredibly relatable. I know some people do this with arguments, but I'll create what are essentially dialogue trees in my head for upcoming, or even purely hypothetical, conversations I think I might have and want to be prepared for. Like, if a friend asked me why I sometimes eat my pizza from the crust first, I have already plotted out every permutation of how this shit is going down. I cannot be stopped. I daydream way too much. I'm constantly daydreaming. At home, at work, while I'm driving, before I'm sleeping, while I'm eating. I'm always daydreaming. Edit. I was not expecting this to blow up as much as it has. I'm really glad to know that I'm not the only one. I'll try to reply to everyone individually. I do too. Started to wonder if it was an actual disorder of some sort. There is a thing called maladaptive daydreaming, but I don't think I'm that far gone yet. I've struggled with maladaptive daydreaming, although not too severe thankfully. Basically a good place to start is your daydreaming always voluntary? Can you turn it off? People with severe maladaptive daydreaming sometimes are in their heads for hours, preferring their daydream friends' life characters over reality a lot of the time. Usually starts as a coping mechanism for some unhappiness that slowly turns into the thing preventing you from doing anything to better your situation. Sometimes I like having fake phone conversations. Sometimes because I just need to talk through a problem or plan something out loud but my mom isn't picking up the phone. Sometimes for my own entertainment, trying to get people to eavesdrop. I have fake conversations too, still dealing with confrontation issues. Sometimes for my own entertainment, trying to get people to eavesdrop. What's that? A 6-foot coke you say? A monster member ball buffet? A mammoth shaft that led, she said, towards a mighty purple head? A huge enormous cosmic schlong of giant girth that dragged along, designed to hammer, slap and slam, the guy behind her whispered, damn. I am a grown man who likes to play with action figures, and yes, I do make the noises to pretend they're fighting. It's my hobby, it relaxes me, and yet I rarely tell people because they look at me like I'm a child. Why should we lose our sense of wonder as we grow? There is nothing wrong with this. It's not hurting anyone and it makes you happy. I have way more stuffies than I should have and I'm 42. I have an incredibly hard time talking to people I don't know. Not only that, but I don't seem to be able to talk properly with people I don't know enough. Words don't come out naturally and I don't pronounce them correctly, or I say words different to what I meant to say. I'm with you. I have the added problem that when I'm forced into a situation where I have to, I overshare like crazy. I don't want to work. I just want to live in a grassy field and eat fruit. I like you and the innocence of this. I get you. I'm chronically ill and the thing I enjoy most is simply sitting in the sun where it's warm and watching the breeze go through trees. I could do this forever, I think. Ah yes, the simple joys of life. I had a co-worker who was allergic to sunlight. She would break out in blisters from any amount of exposure to UV rays. As such, she basically stayed completely out of the sun or wrapped herself up, head to toe, anytime she needed to venture out, such as commuting to and from work. I often think of her when I enjoy a nice, warm day outside and I feel a bit sad for her situation. I guess the only silver lining would be that she's over 60 but doesn't look a day over 30. But I'd rather be naked about 80% of the time. I'd rather be about 70% naked 100% of the time. Husband and I had the house to ourselves for 4 years after the kids moved out. The youngest moved back in about a month ago. I have warned him that we are used to having the house to ourselves and there may be things he sees that he will never unsee again. I will do nothing but sleep and eat all day if I could. I'm currently unemployed and basically do that every day. And trust me, it's very easy to stop caring about yourself. Stop showering. Stop brushing your teeth. Thus getting more lazy. Not going out anymore because showering seems already like so much effort and sleeping is so much easier and boom. Depression pit. It's so easy to slip into this and just a tiny little step each day. There are a lot of days that I feel like useless garbage and that I absolutely sucky. Can recommend taking a break from working for 2 months or maybe even 3. But it's not as easy sitting home all day as we imagine it is. I feel like I have no purpose anymore. I typically do not masturbate for pleasure. I usually do it just to make myself tired enough to fall asleep. I get bad period cramps every month and I masturbate in first days to relieve pain. Feels great. I do this when I can't go to sleep. It just eases my mind and then I just KO. Can't stand brushing my teeth. I do it but hate it. Edit. Kinda sad the highest upvoted comment I have is about hating brushing my teeth lol. Please brush your teeth folks. My moms are falling out because of her poor hygiene when she was younger. It's so duckin' annoying but I don't want to lose them. I brush and floss twice a day and I'm still losing them. Genetics suck. I can't do groceries by myself, always have to call a homie to come with me. I can do anything publicly but IDKWTF it is about grocery stores. I need someone to hold my hand or else I am dipping without any groceries. I'm the exact opposite. I do not want to deal with anyone else's terrible grocery shopping etiquette. Get in and get out as quick as possible. It might sound ridiculous, but I was born a left-handed person. It was unacceptable in our family and I was forced to eat and write with my right hand. Now, I can write with both but much faster and neater with my right hand. In my dreams, I still write and eat with my left hand. Edit. Additional information. I was born in February 1982 in India. Studied in a Catholic school, a Jesuit school to be precise. So Christian, Italian, beliefs. Yes, I started eating with my left hand again as I use my right hand to wash and wipe my rear. Couldn't wash with my left. Edit 2. Thank you everyone. It's crazy that for a long time like 10% of the population was forced to do something uncomfortable because the other 90% didn't like it. Left hand gang represent. My grandma did this to me. She used to say that lefties weren't allowed in heaven. I still do most things with my left hand, including eating. I write pretty decently but slow as a lefty. I would rather sleep than talk to another person like all the time. I just started reading a book called My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Tessa Moshfegh. The book is about a woman who spends all of her time sleeping by means of taking copious amounts of sleeping pills and other sedatives. I'm only about 80 pages in but it's really hilarious, albeit sad how much I want that to be my reality too. Long one here. I dumpster dive and find perfectly good fruit at the grocery store. I don't eat them but turn it into cider or distill it to something stronger. When I go to a group event or party I just bring a 10+ gallons of whatever to the party as my contribution to the group. I've given many people at least 200 gallons of alcohol to mix drinks for their wedding or events. All for free. The thing is, I don't drink. Don't drink at all. Edit fixing some confusing wording. Thanks. I don't think this is impressive at all as I think anyone can make alcohol cider. Pretty smart. Don't get high on your own supply, right? I hate kids and am a teacher. I'm a high school teacher and I enjoy teaching teenagers, but can't stand kids under the age of 11. That's okay. You don't have to love every kid and every age group just because you work with one age group of kids. I'm amazed you enjoy teenagers. I am faking everything. Literally, I could not care less about anything. But I fake it all. They say that's how you make it. That's how you make depression. I've always struggled with sweaty hands and feet since I was a small child. In formal settings I enjoy the option of wearing opera gloves. People think I'm being fancy. Nah brah, I'm just hiding that I have to shake 9,000 hands at this event tonight and I don't want to have to keep wiping them on my dress. My hands only sweat when I think about my hands. Open bracket. This includes knowing I'm gonna shake a hand. Reading this made them super sweaty. I have bipolar disorder and borderline personality disorder. No matter how much people scream mental health matters on their social media pages, the stigma is very much still there. Edit. I wish I could go through and like every single one of your comments. Just know that I see you. I hear you. I recognize you and your struggles. I appreciate you. And I wish you all the best. Also please seek help when you feel like you need it. There are so many professionals out there who I promise will listen. Well yeah, people like the cute side of mental illness, but when they encounter the real deal they video it and post it online for everyone to laugh or hate on. People treat mental illnesses like they're a quirky thing to have until they encounter someone who actually has one. I had 2 kids by the age of 18 in a heavily Mennonite Christian area nicknamed the Bible Belt in southern Canada. That's funny that Canada has its own Bible Belt. I think most Christian countries do. We have one in Denmark as well. I pee in the shower and I'm not ashamed. I pee in your shower, too. I hate showering. I do it every day but I hate it. Same. It's not the showering that I hate. It's the fuss and trouble of having to dry off and deal with my hair. I do it because I hate being unhygienic more than I hate showering. But I view bathing as a chore. I was embarrassingly old when I realized that showering doesn't have to equal washing my hair. It was always a all-in-one when I grew up. I never questioned it. Then one day I pinned my hair up before showering, and my whole world changed. I can now shower every day, and be dried and dressed and ready to go within 5 minutes, if necessary, and wash my hair twice a week and it all feels so right. I don't talk to anyone other than close relative, not even friends. I know people are wondering why. I don't know this person, but I also don't talk to people, and I can at least tell you my reason. I have a horrible little thing called selective mutism. It's a severe anxiety disorder where you freeze out of fear and can't speak. If you're lucky, you might be able to say yes and no. I've had it for 9 years now and it's barely gotten better. I've had no friends except online in the past 9 years. It usually only affects young children but can affect older kids and even adults. I got it when I was 11. It affects about 1% of people. I can talk just fine with my family, but no one else. It's lovely. I can't live like this much longer. Edit. Wow. I went to sleep and woke up with a bunch of replies. I'll be getting back to you all. Don't worry. I think being a stay-at-home dad would be great. I hope I can be. My brother-in-law is, and he is amazing at it. He's even been homeschooling during the pandemic. I really tip my hat to stay-at-home parents, as it's a selfless job I could never do. Old-fashioned people give him crap for being a sad, but he is amazing at it. I hope you get your dream. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.